So, first of all, guys, how are you?
Great, right?
Yeah, great. This is my first coffee of the day, so
Yeah.
I really needed it. No, we're doing well. We just arrived here in Amsterdam. Pretty excited for the whole ADE.
Okay.
And
We're like 1 hour from our home. We live in Eindhoven, in the south part of the Netherlands, and
we just
it's good to be here.
And we finished our new song yesterday, we're very enthusiastic about it. So.
Can you give me a little sneak
you
peek?
know.
Well, we can tell you and assure you that it's going to be a little like we're always looking for like a new touch in a track. So it's gonna have some new elements in there because to us it's important to be like always looking for a new ingredient in a song. So we definitely found that one now.
But no worries, there's still a Showtek touch in it. So.
Okay, well, before we talk about the music you make currently, I'd like to go back quickly. So, for both of you, what was the first album that you ever bought?
I remember my first single, is that cool too?
Yeah,
I think it was Wyclef's Ja from November to September to November, was it?
Gone Till November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even know it anymore.
No, that was my first single I actually bought. Like.
My first album was Michael Jackson Bad.
Okay.
And I can remember I had it on tape first, like it was a long time ago. But I was writing down the lyrics from the songs, trying to figure it out. I fell in love with it directly. And the first single I got was No Limit by Too Limited.
And then, well, that's kind of already, well, not really what you do now, but it's already that electronic element in there. So was that there from the start?
Yeah. Actually, one of my other first albums was House Party 4, was like a collective of all biggest house songs in the 90s, and I got it for Christmas. I asked because I was at a friend's and he played me this house music, and I fell in love with it, and then started listening to house music when I was 9 or 10 already, and I still listen to that CD. It's crazy,
it's very
and
cool.
that sound is kind of back now, right? That 90s house, so it's amazing.
So it's come full circle now.
Definitely a circle, yeah, definitely.
It's always a circle with everything. With fashion, with music, it always comes back.
But for you as well, were you into house music from
I'm the guy that could like every song. Like I mean, I had my hip hop songs I loved. I had some gabber hardcore songs I loved. I had my club songs I loved. For me, when I started to work on music as well, I just started to mix music on a computer. Just music I love, so I was trying to be the DJ on a computer, but back then it was not really possible. So I was just trying to work with loops and stuff. But I'm not really. I have a big passion for music, but I also like to. It was never one genre.
Okay.
But when I went out for the first time, and to be honest, I was 15 and I was only allowed to go with him. We went to a club, and from the moment I went out, I was like so into club music, like and that was my thing.
And well, you were 15. At what point did you start making music?
Well, around that same era actually.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
I played piano when I was 11 or 10, and I just had a great passion to learn how music was made. So I was always playing along on my piano, and then I kept on playing. I had lessons for three years. Got some degrees, but I didn't want to play existing stuff. So that's why I already started making my own tunes with my teacher, just like chords and stuff.
Right.
And he was like, he started making the stuff on the computer at home. He started with that stuff, and I was like, oh, you need some melodies. So that's when I came in, and then we just fused it, and then Showtek was born.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it was.
Do you remember the first thing you made together?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really fun.
If we really dig deep, we can still find it somewhere. I
have
think.
I have it on my PC at my mom's place.
Yeah.
The thing is, it was so cool because I want to find out how to make music or how to sample it and make it beat. I had no idea, so neither of us were educated really like on a school how to work on music. Everything started from a passion for one to find out how to make it and how to make it yourself, and from there on it would just grew. And even the technical skills are pretty difficult, but we just worked on it for like since 2000 almost.
Yeah.
So it's 14 years of
Everyday studio.
Everyday knowledge, trying things out,
Tweaking,
and yeah, I think we.
That's how you learn as well. I mean, if you learn at school, you get a certain, like, people tell you how you could do it. If you find everything out by yourself, it's all one big discovery, and you really have your own style. And I think you can really hear this in our music as well. Like, we really do something with a thought, and we try to create it instead of just doing stuff. We really have a vision about what we want to do.
Does this vision come to you before you start working on a song?
We never I mean, sometimes you have spontaneous moments, but we mostly have a clue or an idea, like, oh, we need this kind of top line. Like yesterday, he had an idea, like, I want to have this vibe. He played an old song, and then we're just gonna write. We wrote a whole song with another guy and made the chorus, and we do the same with melodies or with sounds. Like, oh, that's a cool sound from the 90s or like from 10 years old, and I just like kind of make that sound on my synthesizer, and that's how we start on a certain vibe in a song.
I think that's every artist in the world gets inspired by other music, you know, from back in the days and from stuff that's coming out right now, and it's just like, it's not that you steal anything.
No.
You get inspired, and then you think, okay, this works. How can I do it on my own way, and then create a new way to do it.
That's how music is evolving.
That's
simply how it works.
Yeah. Do you then have you surprised yourself recently with something that inspired you that you didn't think it would?
That's a good question. That happened actually a few days ago. Like, there was this like, I mean, we are super inspired by every genre, also the housey stuff, but also like dubstep. We were at Skrillex at Tomorrowworld, and we heard this dubstepy stuff again, but then it sounds new now again, like fresh. Like, wow, I love it again. And so we went back to the studio and just tried it, and then we actually, I mean, we don't want to produce a whole dubstep song. We put some elements in there, and it really helped us back in the studio. Like, wow, it's so good to open your ears and put it back into your music.
Yeah, and back in the days we were also a little bit stubborn. Like, this is how we work. And then Marcel, our manager, came into the studio and said, like, there's this guy who wants to fly over from LA, and blah blah blah. We're like, why does he want to come over? And we were no one letting in our inner circle. So then when we start to do that, to open up to work with other people, because you also travel a lot, so, and then sometimes you not get stuck, but it's good to have people in who have different ideas, even from different genres. And for example, we have a guy who's a bass player, and his riffs on the bass makes such a difference than how we should play the bass. So by implementing different styles, different people, you can even grow. And back in the days, we were always working only by ourselves. And these days, we really involve like someone else. Like, hey, how will you play this riff?
But just for a thought.
Wow, it's amazing, and that's how you grow.
Yeah. And then, well, this ties in with what I was about to ask. Is it difficult? And I ask every producer and DJ this: is it difficult to know when a song is finished?
It's it's like always detail work, and then we always say the details shouldn't become a big issue in a song, because then you start to overproduce. I mean, a song is still based on maybe a vision or a great idea, and that's how we always work, what we just mentioned. And sometimes the song is finished, and then you want to, keep on changing stuff, and then sometimes you can overkill it. Same with cooking, you put too much stuff in there. So we always quit on a certain moment. We wait for a week, we'll listen again to the song, and if something is missing, we will adjust it. We're still happy with it, then we'll just release it, because you cannot force a hit. You just have to release it and see how it feels for the people.
But sometimes we have something magic, like for example with Booyah, we had the riff and drop, but still the build-up the first time was not perfect or not good enough, so the drop wasn't also good enough, but the ingredients were there. And I think we made 29 different versions, and then we figured out that if we just turn the song around, but with exactly the ingredients, the song became better.
Sometimes the arrangement, sometimes it just has to fall all together. Like the song is like, oh, and when it ends, you want to play it again, and then again. And if you don't want to play it again, then it's not good enough.
Do you let your friends and family listen to it before you?
Yeah, we have a few friends and a few people in our team, or everyone gets to listen to it, and there's always different opinions, and we always want that, because that it means that the track is not an instant smash, because the biggest tracks have to grow on people. So if we believe in it and some people around us believe in it, then we're fine. But we always think we've come so far by doing what we like and what we love, and that's what we always should follow.
Well, yeah, because I was going to ask, but then ultimately you decided.
Yes.
For instance, if somebody said, well, I don't like the song, but you're really convinced that it's really good, would you still...
Yes.
That's what's happening. Even sometimes we have something like ready, and then we show it to somebody in the office, like, oh, it's a little bit like this or like that, and I'm like, yeah, that's why we are in the studio trying to do this, and your opinion is very important, but sometimes it's doesn't really matter.
But it depends, it's different. like we had Slowdown, one of our tracks last year. We had 2 versions, and on The Office they also said, "Oh, take this version." And the spinning guys from the label came in and they're like, "No, this version." Like that's what we thought too. So good.
Okay. Well, finally then, because my time is almost up, you mentioned the special ingredient in the beginning. With electronic dance music becoming bigger and bigger in recent years, is it difficult to find that special ingredient that makes you a bit different than the rest?
Yeah, it is. But that's the magic you're looking for, and that's the magic people then eventually hear in a song.
And that's also a little bit of, I think it's fear sometimes, because for example you have a certain success with a song, and then your next song needs to be different, but you don't want to make it too big of a difference. So if you don't have the guts to get outside the box sometimes, you are stick to that, oh, it needs to be 4 and 4, 128 BPM, and it can only be like this long. If you're gonna think like that always, then you're very...
Yeah, but
so...
Like to answer your question, like, we could easily, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but we could easily make a track that's like super great, but there's no signature on it. Like, it sounds like a great EDM song, and there's a few people who could have made it, and it's like, to us that would be boring. Like, if this doesn't have a signature, we don't want it. So the magic we're looking for, that special ingredient, is just a vibe, a different approach on the song, total different top line, something like that sounds weird in the beginning. You're like, huh? You have to be surprised a little bit, shock value.
And that's what I meant. Then sometimes you have to go out of your comfort zone to look that up and put it in your song. And then it's like, oh wow, it works, you know?
Yeah.
You always have to like go...
But it's hard, and it gets harder every year, I think, because
Yeah.
the more success you have, the more people want you to deliver. So, but we just want to do what we want to do. That's make music and cool stuff.
And the new song we were talking about earlier is like nothing like Bad or Booyah, but it's still very Showtek, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Make it as diverse as possible.
All right, I think my time is up, so thank you very much.
Great,
Super, man.
thanks.
Cool.